Hey YouTube! What's in the box? Oh, it's exciting. I have not opened this yet. You might be able to guess. Who knows? Always exciting. What's in the box? This just arrived today. I bought this last Sunday after the live stream, which I mentioned it. So, what's it going to be like? Really, this is actually a guitar box, so another box inside this box. Looks like another box inside this box. Okay. This might be somewhat of a long video if this isn't going to be easy. Oh, right, okay. Oh. So you might be able to guess by what's that? What's on my TV screen? So I was really annoyed about this. This was on Sunday night, and two amateurs had seen it. It's like, if you're going to bid on something on eBay, like the way to do it is you wait till the last minute and then you put in your bid. So with about half an hour to go, this was sitting at 100 quid. And then with about half an hour to go, it started going up. It was like someone, oh, I'll bid £102, and then someone's gone, oh, I'll bid £104. And then these two idiots had been going at each other. I'm sorry if it was one of you. For the next half hour, you know, it's like, still 25 minutes to go. Here's my bid. I'll give you 25 minutes to think about it, so we can maximise the amount that the seller can get for this guitar. And you're just like, oh, come on. You wait for the last second, and then you put in your maximum bid. That's how you do this. So I did. That's what I did, and I got it. I knew that I would win it because these two guys are sitting there putting in, going up £2 at a time. And I was just like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll bid £121. Here's your offer. Do you want 15 minutes to think about that? How do you think if you're going to go against it? Oh, what's that written there? Someone's written on what gauge of strings? 11s to 44s. And they've changed it from 11 to 32. I wonder if that's actually correct. And as you can see here, Aria Pro 2, a little bit rusty. Accurate bolt-on system, started for a 5, 1985, made in Japan on the neck plate. Generally, Arias, if they are made in Japan, say made in Japan on the neck plate. It doesn't work for necessarily some of the older ones, but any ones kind of kicking about the 80s. If it doesn't say made in Japan on the neck plate, it's a Korean one. So Matsumoku guitar. So here we have an Aria Pro Laser Electric Heritage. If I remember correctly, this is a Laser Pro Classic. The Heritage one, I think, the Heritage base is basically this, apart from it's not active, I think. Actually, I've got the brochure up there. So this it's got a few bashes on it and stuff. Nothing that I wasn't expecting. I think the neck looks good. Needs a wee bit of a setup. A little bit rusty and unused. Pickups, these are not the original pickups. That's an Ibanez V7, which you get in modern prestige guitars. It's normally the V7 V8 combo. But this is a V2. It's like whoever it was who's been against didn't know it was a V2 in it. V2 is meant to be the best of the Ibanez pickups. I believe Eddie Van Halen had a V2 pickup, and I think it was maybe his Ibanez Destroyer, the one that like bits cut out it. I think that's what he had in his. Might not be true, it's meant to just be a copy of a DiMaggio Super Distortion. But actually what sometimes goes with the V2, I've actually got the neck pickup in the guitar half of this one is actually a V1. Even though it looks like it says V7, but actually when you look at one that actually says V7, you can see that's clearly a 7, whereas if you once you've seen the one that's definitely a 7, you know that this one isn't a 7 because It could be a 1 or a 7, but now I've seen a 7, it's definitely a 1 that's in this. So it'll be interesting to see what. I don't know if Maggie's going to. I'm just going to plug this in, try it out. Have I got a strap lying about in the floor somewhere that I can put on? There's one. So I'm not really that into black guitars normally, but I'm thinking of changing my mind a little bit and maybe just accepting that black guitars are pretty cool. I like that bass. I mean, I bought that bass to get the pickup out of it and didn't realise I would end up really liking it. Especially seeing as it was black, which just made it. But I mean, I think one of my main reasons for the black t-shirt thing, the black guitar thing, was I used to wear black t-shirts all the time, all the ones I used to get at gigs. And you couldn't see the guitar when I was looking at myself in the mirror play it, because it was a black t-shirt, whereas now, because of that, I started wearing bright coloured t-shirts, so black maybe works quite well. This is quite dirty. I will be washing my hands immediately after this, most certainly, and then I'll be washing the guitar, and then I'll be putting the strings on the guitar. A, B. But I just think that if one of those other guys who decided that they were going to bid early hadn't showed up, I would have got this for 102 quid. Well, actually, when you type in Aria Laser into Google, up comes a picture of me playing that bass. They're not very well known. I think what this is kind of the same as what the guitar is, the bass is. It's in 1985 they were doing the sort of facelifty thing, so I think you can get this guitar as a Thor sound, which pretty much looks exactly the same, apart from I think maybe it had maybe different pickups. Well, I don't know. This doesn't have the original pickups in it anyway. So it's an HS. I don't even know what the scale length is. Fender, 25.5 inch scale. Well, it's seems to be playing alright to make a sound. It's loud. Turn the volume down a little bit for it. Got a wee bit of a dirty output jack, but I mean, I'll sort that. Tone works. It's quite a wobbly output actually. Oh, I suppose it just needs tightened up. So maybe a little bit understated. It's got the original Aria Pro tuners. These would be an upgrade. This actually looks very like my Thor sound Aria, which I will obviously do some sort of shoot out with. It came with 2 single coils, though, and I've now upgraded to 2 P90s. So this is kind of it's sort of similar, just black. So here's what it says there. Aria presents an entirely new line of electrics. See, that's just not true, because you can pretty much buy this guitar called the Thor Sound in 1984. This is 1985, and they've done it up, called it a laser to make it sound more technologically amazing. That bass, I'm not sure. I think it might be new, but you can get that body with an RSB an RSB neck on it, which has got like a 4-a-side headstock. So I think the neck might be off another guitar, so I think maybe that's a sort of combination. This could be a combination of 2 guitars as well. It does have the 3-piece Matsumoku neck. It's either very dirty, or it's been lightly sanded, or it's a satin finish. I think it might be a satin finish. So I might have to polish that up a little bit. I don't think I'll be able to get rid of that rust there. Yeah, so the Laser Electric series features the LE Heritage guitar and the LE Heritage / Classic bass. The LE Heritage is a smooth, balanced ash body, maple neck with rosewood fingerboard. The neck comes in a semi-gloss finish that is non-stick and feels natural. Maybe. I wouldn't have said that was particularly. I would have said that was a bit more. That's definitely glossier than this. Maybe the bass came with a gloss neck, or maybe that's something that makes that one a classic and not a heritage. Feels natural. The wide comes offer easy, incredibly clear intonation is available. The pickup is the new Humbucker Protomatic 4 with ceramic magnets. It's not, so that'd be MMK45s, I think. The Protomatic 4s. That's not what's in this. This has got Ibanez pickups. This one, I think, from the very early 80s, and this one could be from any time, like a more modern 90s, 2000s guitar. I'm not going to change them as yet. I'll see how I get on with it. Don't change them if they don't, don't change what ain't broke. Don't fix what ain't broke. What else does it do? Thick and massive humbucking sounds. Single coil tonales can be put by pulling the coil tap switch and on the tone pot. Coil tap switch on the tone pot. Nothing on the volume pot. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that layout. That's I wouldn't say I would have expected it, but I'd never really thought about it until now. Oops, I hit pause there, or I hit stop, so I'll have to stitch these two together. I was trying to roll down trying to scroll that down, it's complicated. Thick and massive humbucking sound, single coil, blah, blah, blah. The Heritage also comes with a vintage tremolo system. The pressed steel saddles provide long and clear sustain. Laser electric bass covers two models. I've already talked about the bass. Yeah, so there's a bit the guitar and bass. So, and it's got the massive block on the back, which I kind of expected for a Japanese trem. Doesn't have an arm. I suppose it might be in the box somewhere. I'll maybe have a look later. I'm sure I can make it work. So. I wonder if just I'm going to give it a exclusive contract cleaner, just in case it sorts it. It's not going to do any harm. It might make it a bit better for playing it just now. So neck pickup Ibanez V7, and is it split? Brush pickup. There's butts on as well. Yeah. Both in split coil mode, which is what I would be using on probably quite a lot. US green button pedal. Perhaps too long. You never know whether the guitar exactly how it's going to sit with that. Threshold is adjusted. Back up, so this is the expensive one, which is probably worth more than I paid for the guitar. It's good, isn't it? video slagging off people who have matching pairs of guitars, like a guitar and a bass that match, and because I totally suffer from that. I wasn't really aware of it quite as much until I saw this one. I was like, oh, that's a laser guitar, that goes with the laser bass that I got, and that I really like the bass, so having the two, so you get the bass and guitar set. Also, when I was looking up my Gibson and Epiphone collections, I realised I had an SG and an EBO Epiphone and an SG and an EBO Gibson. So it's another pair. I've also got the Aria PE 1500, PB 1500, which is like a sort of Les Paul bass, and then a PE 600, which is a guitar version of it. I've got a Rock Device, Aria Rock Device bass, and Aria Rock Device guitar, and Thor Sound. I've got Thor TSB standard bass and Thor Sound guitar, so it's pretty sad, isn't it, really? Just looking for excuses to buy these things. It appears to have, like, my Aria collection appears to be guitars and basses, like, of the same type. So I'm going to check the truss rod on this works before I go any further. I've never had a problem with a Matsumoku truss rod before, but you never know who's been in at it. It does need brought back a little. Not miles actually. Does it actually need? It needs a wee tweak, but not very much. It's actually set up and played pretty well, considering these strings are probably decades old. Really bit of a wipe, and we're ready to rock with this one. I'm going to have a go at I'm going to get soapy water on the back of the neck's kind of sticky. I think, to be fair, I think my Thor Sound has actually got a very similar neck to this. It's kind of made of this sort of satin feely stuff. So I'm wondering, maybe just cleaning it and then just getting the pledge on it might be able to make it a little bit slippier. So it shouldn't be sticky. I think it's just dirt, to be honest, more than anything else. And the frets are pretty good all the way. You don't tend to get, when you get to the sort of more pro level guitars, even though you're not paying pro level price for it, this was not a cheap guitar when it was new. This was not like our equivalent of a £100 Squire or £150 Squire when it was new. This would have been a mid-high range guitar. I don't know, probably in terms of 1985, probably 400, 500 quid, something like that in 1985, which if you translate that out is now, you know, an £800, £1,000 guitar. I would have probably preferred to have the original Protomatic pickups, but I've got a funny feeling I've got them in another Aria guitar. So the V2 was cool. If this was a V7 and a V8, I'd be less impressed because you see them quite a lot actually. They actually sounded really good, but they're not worth very much money. I think I might have actually sold a set once because I was sitting there and it was like, I had them in, I can't remember what I had them in. The V7 and the V8 I had black covers, so they looked like EMGs. They still had the V7 and the V8, just that they had the covers and I put them in a guitar and sold it. I don't think I've ever had the sort of standard ones. So maybe, if I don't get on so well with the neck pickup, I might at some point swap it out with the V2, so I've got a V1 and V2, but I mean, to be honest, it sounds pretty good, the neck pickup. I'm liking it. This does need set up. As well, failing the 2 pence test on the 12th fret. Yeah. Probably not that much. I'm wondering if actually, if I do just the slightest bit of adjustment on the slightest bit of adjustment in the tremolo, the truss rods, might bring that down to being perfect actually. It's not unplayable. It's maybe not the most interesting looking guitar, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's like, that looks like it's a separate piece of wood that's splitting below the paint, isn't it? Happens with these things. It is 1985, so 30. Not doing maths in my head. 35 years old, more than that. Yeah. So interesting, and I will be doing a video. I'll be cleaning this up probably this afternoon. Talking to Civic and make it nice. Probably have it running quite well for tomorrow night's live stream. I said Scream last night as well. I changed it to Steam because I'm drinking Bucky and getting steaming. So I might change it to Scream just for the sake of it. Depends on, hold on, just give me a second. I want to try this with the heavier pedals. So we've gone to the My first bass which I keep using. So they're still out there, you can still get top shelf, well not top shelf but very well built and very good quality Japanese guitars on eBay. Nothing fancy. It was going at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday night. I was a little bit steaming because of the live broadcast, and you just got to be willing to, I suppose, kind of know what it is you're looking for a little bit. The area's actually pretty good. They've got catalogues for most of this stuff. If you're looking at Aria Pros, the more, basically the Japanese ones are better. It's like, it's a big difference. I'm ordering a Samick one. Is kind of what you're getting just now as maybe like a sort of better one of the top half of the Squire series, like your classic vibe. That kind of quality level you're getting with the Korean ones, but then when you go up to the Japanese ones, it's as good as a guitar can be. Really, I mean, it's quite a simple guitar, so it's obviously, it doesn't have the quilted top and all the binding and all that, so it's not premium, super expensive one, but the bits that it does have are all rock solid and awesome. And the more I look at it, the more I kind of like the shape. It's kind of not, I don't even know what you would really, how would you describe it? It's not really a Strat. It doesn't even really look like a variation of a Strat, does it? It's kind of funny looking. It doesn't really look like the bass either, to be honest. Really. It's like, the one I've got, the Thor Sound guitar I've got, is maybe the same outline, but it's got like the chamfers of an SG on it. So it looks like an SG, whereas this doesn't look like an SG at all because it doesn't have the cutaways. You know, chamfers is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to clean this up. Fun guitar. I'm just going to be leaving it black, I think. Although this is one that you can see if I put like a zebra or something like that would look rather good, wouldn't it? Looking at it there in pearl white, I would have to make it a colour that no one else had. Maybe pink like this t-shirt, something like that. To be honest, I think I'll just keep it the way it is because it goes well with the bass. Even though the bass is the classic, not the heritage. I could swap the truss rods over and have a heritage bass, I suppose. I'm pretty sure the heritage was just because it had a. These are two mods. Was LEB classic with active circuitry and the head with passive circuitry. Yeah, it's pretty much that. The control rob. But it even says the presence of this active circuit is the only difference between the LEB classic and the LEB heritage. LEB being laser electric bass, probably, and this will be LEG. Does it say LEG or did it just say LE? It's just laser electric, yeah. So it's an LE heritage is what this model is. Which is not the most exciting, and I still question a little bit about the heritage thing, because I mean, to me this looks very much like an 80s guitar, and that looks very much like an 80s bass. That says classic, and if you're talking about the 80s, like classic, it's going to be like a 50s P bass or something. Nothing really look like that. It doesn't really look like, doesn't look 60s. Maybe it could look 70s, sort of. I don't know. Anyhow, rock on, and catch you tomorrow night's live stream. A couple of folk have left some things from it to talk about, which is good. If you can think of anything else, give me a shout. Rock on.